I mean, like, you'll start, so, yeah.
Yeah, you can say whatever here. I can cut this part out. But
Yeah,
all
sure,
right,
sure. Let's go.
all right, let's go. Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Gossip Bowl, your guide to the affairs of Northeast Quiz Bowl.
So for this episode, we're going to be talking about our predictions for the top 25 teams that'll be going to HSNCT. These results were derived from a poll that Mohan sent out to some players in the region. So without further ado, my name is Albert Ty. I'm a junior at Hunter College High School, and my favorite book would have to be between the Lord of the Rings series or Star Wars Episode 3, the novelization.
All right. I'm Casey. I'm a sophomore at Ithaca High School. My favorite book is The Little Prince, the best book ever written.
I am Devin Chang from Lexington High School. I'm not that good at Quiz Bowl, so I don't know many books, but I would say my favorite book that I've read is John Adams by David McCullough.
Hi, I'm Mohan Mahatra from Charter School Wilmington. I'm a junior right now, and I'd have to say my favorite book is probably between Aragon and 50 Shades of Grey, but I can't pick which one.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Good.
I saw the movie in theaters with my mom and dad.
Oh, I see.
I'm talking about Aragon. It was like for my 10th birthday or something like that.
Oh, yeah, true. That was a good movie.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. All right, I guess, Mohan, you want to get started with number 25?
Yeah, so at 25 we have Manheim Township B, and they're from my area, which is Greater Philly. So Manheim B has been a pretty decent team throughout the season, and they've given some top teams pretty good runs. They gave us a pretty close run at some tournaments this year, and they've kept up with their B team as well. Their main player is Aaron Zuo, and he's a pretty capable generalist, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what he covers, but I know that he's able to score in multiple categories, and I've seen him score some pretty good like history buzzes before. So I definitely look out for them. They can they can probably make a run at HSNCT and maybe go 5-5, or perhaps like a surprise 6-14.
Yeah, so 24 would be Regis High School from my state, New York. So Regis, their best player is this kid named Chris Hillenbrand, he's really good at science. He competed in the chemistry Olympiad team, U.S. in the international chemistry Olympiad. So yeah, he's really good in that respect. I played with him at NASAT. And he got a lot of the hard science questions really early. But Chris hasn't been playing on Regis A as of lately, probably with college stuff, so not sure how these guys are going to do. I mean, they do have Luke, which pretty much gets everything else. So, yeah, I think 5-5, 6-4.
All right, so next we have our B team, Wilmington Charter B. So Casey, if you want to like give an outsider's view and break them down, and then I can like kind of give some other information about them.
Yeah. So what I've seen of Charter B is mostly, I haven't actually played them, or Ithaca hasn't actually played them this year, but they seem to be made up of Mabel D'Souza, who was on last year's Charter A team, and she's really good at fine arts, and she has like really deep fine arts knowledge. Jared, he's really good at science, and Jeremy, who's like really good at frauding things, and also history, and also Philip Kang, who's like just really good at everything, probably one of the best players in Quiz Bowl in my opinion.
Yeah, and Phil's really good at negging. I know that for certain.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He set some negging records in the past. So.
That is certainly true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what do you have to say about your B team, Mo?
I mean, I think they're pretty underranked because they've never played together. Jeremy, he got some illness back in November and hasn't played a tournament, Quiz Bowl tournament since then. He actually just came back to school 2 weeks ago. Oh. So, and he's like their NAQT firepower, their history geo current events player. And then Jared's only gone to like house rights this season, so I don't think they've like shown their best in an AQT. I'm actually not sure if Mabel's even played an AQT tournament this season. So I think their NAQT stats that are in the spreadsheet that was administered with the poll is actually based on our C team playing as them as B team. So I think they're pretty underranked going into nationals. So I think like we can expect to see them make some surprise, have some surprise wins and like that.
Yeah. All right. Number 22 is Mountain Lakes. So Mountain Lakes has had a lot of issues with like people coming to tournaments, and I think the most consistent person who's been coming to tournaments from their team is Ron Mucci. He's a sophomore, and he takes a lot of risks when he plays, but he's really good at history, and I think he's an overall pretty good generalist. When he's joined by Mark and Dowd and Phoebe, I think they have the potential to cause an upset and make playoffs. And I'm not entirely sure who's going to HSNCT, but if they have their full A team, I think they could cause an upset because they're a pretty quality team.
So for number 21, we have Milburn B. So I actually don't know that much about the Milburn teams, so I'm going to be speaking about Milburn A and Milburn B both at once. So Milburn, although they're pretty underranked, pretty lowly ranked here, they have had some surprising upsets. Like for example, back in Livingston's Frozen Frenzy tournament a few months back, Milburn's A team actually did beat our A team by like about 100 points or so. Their best players, Michael Ty. No, we're not related, but yeah, I think that they're capable of a few surprise victories. So definitely look out for them.
So next on number 20, we've got Essex, which is a team from Vermont, and like we've never actually played them before because what happens in New England is like there's a circuit down in Massachusetts and Connecticut, and then Vermont like has just a circuit to themselves. So the only thing I know about them is that like they're the best team in Vermont. So and they got I think 20 power, a 20.7 something PBB on IS 146, and that's obviously pretty good. So I'm not sure like how they'll do HSNCT on a higher level, but just look out for them. And on 19, we've got EO Smith, which is a team down in Connecticut. So they're the second best team in that state behind Darien, which we'll get to later. And we've never actually played them either, but we played half of their A team at HFT back in November, and they actually kind of surprised us. They got some pretty nice science powers, as far as I could tell, but I'm not sure how strong they are at history or arts. So yeah. And next on number 17, 18 was Milburn, which Albert already covered. We've got Bishop Girton, which is a team from New Hampshire. And Bishop Girton's just one of those other teams in New England that has just recently improved a lot, and this is heavily under the influence of Timothy Morrison. And Tim was like at the beginning of the year just a regular player who we've never heard of, but by now like he is one of the top scorers at IS tournament. Like
Did
that.
he play for EMSA before by any chance?
No, there's another guy called Tim Morrissey on AMSA. They're both. It's like just
okay.
one letter. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah. But Tim has like gone to be very good. I think we like a game against them came down to the last toss-up at the Connecticut Invitational, but that was due to like me negging 6 times in that game. But yeah, they're like they can beat you to things, and if you don't be careful, they can surprise you. And next, again, 16, we have Acton Boxborough, which is a team that we've played a lot this year because we're really in the same region. So Acton Boxborough is led by Spencer Thrope and Josh Schung. And Josh Schung is actually his first year playing Quiz Bowl, but he has a lot of real knowledge in science. He reads a lot of books and fine arts. He listens to music and stuff, so that's cool. He doesn't study though, so like just him getting those points off real knowledge like may hurt coming to HSNCT, but they got pretty close to beating us at MIT State, so they're pretty dangerous. And Spencer has been improving steadily, so watch out for them next year as well.
All right, so at number 15, we have Great Neck South High School, also from New York City like us. They're in Queens. And so Great Neck South, the highest scorer seems to be Lucia Gang, who's who got really impressive powers on literature, it seems, and she's also a musician outside of Quiz Bowl, so she's good at fine arts. They also have Alan Lee, who seems to be pretty adept at geography. He also knows some history stuff. I played with him at NASAT, and he did get some good buzzes in those two categories. They also have Chris and Aaron, who seem to be rounding out a pretty formidable force.
Number 14, we have High Tech B, and Ithaca has managed to play High Tech B in like most of the tournaments that we've been at with them, and we've had some really close matches, and they're a really well balanced team. So they have they're led by Andrew Huang and Catherine Jiang, and they're really good players. Andrew Huang is really good at history. He does History Bowl and History B, and he's really good. And then they also have Doug Simmons and Christian Bajrai Harpa. And so their strengths are definitely history, and they're just a really quality team that we've played a lot. I fully expect them to make playoffs. Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, so I think we're entering the region now where we expect most of these teams to, being hit at least 6-4 or really high 5-5 teams. So the teams now are going to be like High Tech B and beyond will be teams that really have a good shot at making a run into playoffs. So next at 13 we have Manheim Township A, and I just want to stress one thing: you don't sleep on Manheim Township A. If you for a second doubt them, they will come back and haunt you. And this has happened to us in the past, and I mean, if you take them seriously and you give it all you've got in that game, and don't doubt them for a single second, then it can be a pretty straightforward game. Because I mean, they're a really good team, but they don't have. I don't think they have what it takes to play some of the higher level teams. But if a team starts to mess around or have a couple bad negs in that match against them, they can definitely take advantage of that and pull through. And they've had some good wins against. They had consistent wins against teams that are higher ranked on here, like Emmaus, and they have really good balance overall. So I'd say Ahan Patel and Jake Deeren seem to do a good bit of the scoring, and Jake is really good at lit. So you should definitely watch out for them in that regard. Yeah.
All right. So number 12, we're gonna talk about Ithaca. Albert, I guess you can give an outsider's perspective about Ithaca first.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, Ithaca's beaten us at HFT and some other tournaments, which I can't name right now. So, as you all know by now, Casey Weatherby here is on Ithaca. He has pretty good knowledge on lit and history. But another player who's been doing pretty well recently is his teammate, Daniel Hsu, who seems to be quite adept at science, fine arts, and myth. That makes me kind of hairy because those are all categories that I do as well. And he's actually beaten me to a few powers in many tournaments. So that's how they usually beat us.
He does a lot of fine arts studying. He definitely does science, but Daniel and I are kind of generalists. We played a solo tournament earlier today, Brainbuster Solo, and we were both in the final. I ended up finishing second to Eric Wolfsberg, who we're going to talk about later, and Daniel got fourth. So we have general knowledge, and we're all sophomores. Everyone on our A team is a sophomore. The fourth player, so our third player is Andre Shaksadian, and he's really good at history. He does history support, basically, and James Park is our fourth player. He gets some clutch stuff. That's basically what he's there for. He does some bio for, actual studying, but he has some really weird knowledge that he just pulls out of nowhere every so often. But the big problem is that Ithaca just has, a negative NAQT boost. We hate NAQT, and we always score really lowly on NAQT sets. So how that might affect us at HSNCT, I don't know, but we'll see.
So in number 11, we have Kellenberg, whose main scorer is Joe Lovano. Joe gets like top 3 in almost all tournaments that he's attended, and from what I've seen, he has really comprehensive lit and history knowledge. His teammates fill him in for those other categories, but again, he's like clearly the best player on that team. But
I'm
don't
gonna make a pretty bold prediction here as far as Kellenberg goes. At Harvard Fall, they didn't do that well, and I feel like he doesn't scale up that well to, higher difficulty. So I'm actually gonna predict that they struggle at HSNCT and go 5-5.
Didn't Joe Lovano like win a tournament by himself last year? That was insane.
It was on A set though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Going to number 10, we've got Darien, which is led by Michael Barecki, who is a very smart kid. He did very well at History B by himself. He's a sophomore, so he's got a very strong potential. Last year he mostly played solo, but this year he's actually got teammates. There's a girl called Julia who specializes in fine arts, who supports Michael. Michael gets a very good NAQT boost because he's a geo specialist. He's very good at geo, and he also does history and some sports, so that's good for him. I predict Darren can go like 6-4 at nationals.
Yeah. So next is Emmaus, and they're another team from the Greater Philly region. So I'm kind of happy to see more Philly teams rising to the challenge this year and performing well. They're led by Ryan Bilger. And,
I see him on Protable a lot.
Yeah, he's
Gettysburg
really good. He's improved a lot throughout the season. I remember at the first term of the year, Princeton, we beat him without Varun playing on A team, but I doubt we could do that again. He's improved a lot since then. Back then, he was like an 18 PPB kind of guy, and now he's like a 60-70 power by himself across the tournament and like a 23 PPB, playing pretty much by himself. So he's improved a lot this year and made some serious strides. And I feel like they'll be a 6-4 team. I don't think they'll go further, even though they have the potential to, just because of the fact that this is their first time playing at such a high level. And I think they're not going to get much further than that.
All right. So next we've got Livingston A. Livingston A is, I think, a really quality team. They're really, really well balanced. Like all of their teammates contribute a lot. Their top scorers are definitely Jeffrey and probably Sora. But like their whole team contributes a lot, and they specialize, and they do really well at that. And I've seen them get really far. Just in tournaments that I played with them. I played with them on an A set KPEC, and that was like they did really well. They were under a pseudonym, and I don't know if they had a full team, but they still did really well. And I'm always really impressed with how they do, and I think they could potentially do well in playoffs at HSNCT.
So next we have at number 7 we have East Brunswick A, and East Brunswick A has been a really strong team throughout the season as well. They're led by Shravan Balaji, and he's just a really good NAQT player all around. He can score history, any type of current events. I haven't seen many people beat into current events in the past. In geography, he'll get that pretty quickly. He has a weakness in humanities, it seems, but I think his teammates have actually been improving a lot this season and stepping up for that. As we've seen, there have been some tournaments where he hasn't attended and his team has still put off pretty good results. So they're definitely improving, which is pretty scary, because if Shravan has like a real team around him come HSNCT time, they can make some pretty good runs. I'm thinking like a 6-4 or 7-3 prelim finish, and maybe an upset or two in playoffs from this team.
So in number 6, we have yours truly, Hunter, who, despite some initial struggles with team attendance, I think we've developed a pretty good dynamic with myself and Luke Tierney. Luke's really good at history. He won first place in the junior varsity category in the National History Bowl. So I guess that's an achievement.
Wasn't he also like the JV MVP or something like that?
I don't know what that means. I'm not a history bowler. I guess that's pretty good too. He just he knows a lot of history, some geo, and he's really up to date in current events. So since this is going to be an NAQT tournament, I think we're pretty well prepped in that respect. I mean, from time to time, I read the Wall Street Journal on my phone on the way to school, so I might be able to get like one or two powers in that category. And me, I'm just a generalist who tries to get everything else. I would say I'm more of a jack of all trades, and he's more of someone who's really locked down one category, which will be useful against higher level teams. To round off our team, we have Brent Morden, who, aside from Kai from Farragut, I think he's the best music fine arts player I've ever encountered in Quiz Bowl. And we also have Joshua Kwan, who really locks down the myth category. I'd say in general we're just a better bonus team than a toss-up team, though. Like, I think we are ranked like number 4 in terms of PPEs in the entire Northeast, but some of the lower-ranked teams have beaten us in tournaments, so that's that.
I mean,
Casey?
I think the bonus rate is really good. Like it shows that you guys will continue scoring at, or at least you'll have deep knowledge when it comes to nationals level stuff because you get such a good bonus conversion rate. So
Yeah, I think that's true.
Hmm?
So we've played a Hunter a lot, and they always seem to have a different attendance every time we play them, which is interesting. But I think that they can definitely do well. I formed some really close bonds with some of the Hunter people, and I can't wait to see them blossom.
So now we're in the top 5, so like we expect these teams to like really do well in nationals and potentially make a really deep playoff run. So like at 5 we've got AMSA, the reigning small school national runner-ups. So they're obviously very good at Geo, led by Abhinav Korada. So Abhinav had made the Geo Olympiad team this year, so he's very good at geography. Shashank Madhu is very good at history. He was he made the semifinals in the U.S. History Bee this year. And Tim Morrissey is probably the only person I know who paints. And his
I paint too.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're the second one. But he's very good at paint arts. Not as much as music, but not. He's very good at arts, but not so much in music. And finally, we've got Anirudh, who's probably the most improved player in our region this year. His second tournament ever was HSNCT last year, where he was like, I think second on the team in scoring. And this year, he's probably the best player on AMSA. He's probably the best science player in our region. So he's improved a lot, and he's probably continuing to improve. So watch out for AMSA, a very balanced team at HSNCT. Do you have anything to add, Mohan? I know you know these guys very well.
yeah, so I mean, I think the key to AMSA's success at HSNCT actually lies in Abhinav Kurata. Like looking at it, you might not think so because he doesn't seem that valuable to the team. He's like a 3rd or 4th scorer or something like that.
True.
But he's got that geo and current events boost, and that's what's going to give him big points when it comes to a national level tournament like HSNCT. HSNCT has a huge boost in geo and current events, and if you can capitalize off that, that's like a solid 2 to 3 buzzes a match there, which can really put a team, into that next level, as we saw like Varun did last year at HSNCT. So I think that's where the key lies. And as for the rest of the team, I'd really commend Ani for really pushing himself and becoming the focal point of this team's attack in every match. Yeah. So next we've got Charter A, which is
Bethlehem, you mean?
No.
Oh yeah, might be. Sorry.
Yeah. So Charter A came in 4th on the rankings. Inside the top 2 to 4, it was all split by 1 point, 1 vote. So this was like a pretty tight, packed group, and we're probably going to see something similar at nationals. But for Charter, I'd say you could really characterize our season in 3 phases. So you have the fall phase, which is like, just started like we were pretty much relying on Varun for most of the stuff, and then like in the winter phase, really picked up, and everyone else started contributing. We won a lot of tournaments and had some pretty good wins, and then the spring phase, which is where I think teams started to fall apart a bit. Varun's senioritis kind of became a cancer, on the rest of the team. But Rohan keeps improving, so I think if those two can really step up at HSNCT especially, then we can do well. Because Rohan and Varun, I think between the two of them, they cover all of Geo. They have each other's gaps. So I think Geo current events and history will be on complete lock between those two. But I think our biggest weakness when it comes to this kind of tournament will be lit, definitely. So if any team has a good lit player, they'll be able to exploit that.
I think you guys are like actually one of the best like teams that scale up to the difficulty of HSNCT. Like at HFT, you guys like really impressed our team. You guys like got like I think like over like almost 10 powers in the round against us. It was like really scary, and obviously you guys finished second behind State College. But like obviously HFT is a really hard tournament, so I think like you guys will do pretty well at HSNCT.
I think that the real strength with Charter is that all of their teammates seem to know something. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you have like Mohan and Varun, who are like really good players in their own right, but even like third or fourth scorers like Rohan and Shreyas, like they all seem to know something. They all seem to be getting some pretty impressive buzzes.
I mean,
So
like,
I
the
think
thing I want to point out is like our fourth scorer, who's Shreyas, like last year playing like pretty much by himself. I think it was just him and Jared on B team at Prison Bowl, and he put up like 60 to 70 PPG and carried Charter B to like a fourth place finish with like wins over like St. Joe's and Ridgewood and other teams with like really impressive players. So like, while Shreyas is like super shadowed out this season because his European history distro gets eaten up by Varun, and Rohan's improved a lot at science, so his science distro has like kind of gone away. His like physics and chem. So he's like a 20, 30 PPG player versus like a 50, 60 PPG player last season. I definitely say like he hasn't gotten worse in skill level. If anything, he's gotten even better at that specialization in lit that he's been working on.
He's really good at lit, and I was really impressed with some of the things that he knows.
And yet, it's still probably our weakest category. But
I think this just goes to show that if you have a team of 4 people who are all really competent, then you can go really, really far.
Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, number 4 we have Bethlehem, who does not have 4 people.
Number 3.
Number 3, my bad.
Lexington.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Ben Shang.
Sorry. Just sorry. So Lexington is my team. I overlooked us. I'm sorry. So yeah, we are kind of good at Quiz Bowl. We have 4 members in our team, led by Colin Cantwell, who's a very smart kid. He's basically a generalist, but specializes in lit. And we are probably around the same good at NAQT and house rights, because Colin gets like he's like insane at trash. He like knows all the old sports stuffs and like old music, but I like compliment him on like modern music, so like we're pretty good at that. I'm not sure if he's as good as Varun Wadwa, who's on Charter and a noted music specialist, but I also do fine arts. So I like suck at NEQT basically. But I do get some history buzzes, and unfortunately our third scorer, Arjun Sarathi, will not be coming to HSNCT, so a B-teamer, Duncan McCallum, will replace him, and Duncan is like actually our NEQT specialist basically. He's very good at Geo, and he has recently started to study some European history as well, so we're hoping that we can rely on him for some good buzzes. And finally, our fourth scorer is Reggie Lua, who is not actually studied, but he complements our weaknesses, which are myth and philo, so we're kind of relying on him for that. And this year, Lexington has been like extremely inconsistent due to our consistent negs, which have basically been like a source of our downfall on multiple occasions. So I'm like half of them are by me, so I'm trying to fix that and be less aggressive, but it's like kind of tough. Yeah, so I think we'll go 7-3 in the prelims and hopefully do well in the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I mean, I think you guys have been improving pretty well throughout the season.
Yeah, we've been working pretty hard.
And that's really good. Like from the first time we played you guys, which is like pretty close loss, I think, to the second time, which was like you guys won in the last toss-up. It's been quite an amazing season for you guys, and you really pushed yourselves hard and worked hard and improved a lot. I think you'll reap the benefits of that come nationals. I'm thinking like 7-3, maybe even a surprise 8-2 finish for you guys in the prelims.
What's like sucks for us is that like we live in a region that isn't too competitive, and we really haven't had any chances to like play in like more competitive with more competitive teams like you guys down like in New Jersey and stuff. So next year we're planning to like play more tournaments down south.
All right. So number 2, we've got Bethlehem, and so the only one going to HSNCT from Bethlehem is going to be Eric Wolfsberg, who is undoubtedly their highest scorer, probably one of the highest scorers, or just one of the best individual quiz bowl players that we're seeing this year, and he's a junior, which is really impressive. So we're going to have to watch out for him next year. But so I saw him earlier today at the solo tournament. He won by a landslide, basically. Like, he's just really impressive. He has lockdown on biochem, and he's really good at history. His weakness is probably lit, but he's also just really good at everything. So I expect him to do really well. One of his major weaknesses that might be a problem for him at HSNCT is geography. Like, he's really humble about what he knows in general.
Yeah, he is very humble.
He is very humble, but he did tell me that, like, he just doesn't know any geo, and, like, there are certain things that I think he'll have gaps in that his team would have been able to cover had they been able to attend. So we'll see. I think he'll definitely go at least 6-4 in the prelims, and I think he could make a playoff run.
Yeah, I think playing solo, he'll probably be a 6-4 team. But never underestimate him. I think he could. That range is so big. He could go from 6-4 to 8-2 just by having a few, having maybe a good packet or a lucky opponent or things like that. Like, I think who you play really makes a big difference on how you finish. Like, I remember last year we were like 3-3 before ending the day on a 4-0 run, kind of because like 2 of our last 4 opponents were like pretty easy. So if he gets like pretty decent opponents, he could be like a 7-3 team or maybe even an 8-2 team. So you never know.
Interesting that you would say that. I was actually under the impression that Eric's weakness was science, and he was really good at geo because he did get really impressive powers in that category when we played him in BSHAT. But I don't know. Maybe that was just that one isolated incident.
Yeah.
Also,
sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, Bethlehem came up to Lexington for our tournament in winter, and they actually, so they faced Hingham A in the Advantage Final. Hingham's not coming to HSNCT, but they're pretty good still. And Hingham actually beat them in the first game of the Advantage Final by 5 points. Hingham's, like, obviously, is a team that's pretty good at science, so I guess, like, they were kind of able to beat Bethlehem because they were able to pick off some points off of Eric's science weakness. So
maybe our science was just better, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but, like... So yeah, I'm not like quite sure what their weakness is, but science may be it.
I also saw him reading an issue of Cosmopolitan magazine once, so he might get that NAQT trash.
Yeah,
that was a joke. I really didn't.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right. So I think we're moving on to our number 1, which, if you guys listening haven't figured out by now, is high tech.
What? Really? Wow.
Yeah, no, what a surprise, right?
I call them Hey Tech colloquially.
So yeah, High Tech pretty much ran away with the voting on the poll. They were almost our unanimous number 1 vote. Props to Lexington for stealing the only number 1 vote that didn't go to High Tech. So I know I've played High Tech several times this season. 4 times actually. 3 times with a full A team, and it's been our full A squad versus their full A squad. All three of those times. And I think we're 2-1 against them. The 2 wins being in championship matches, and the 1 win being in just a normal playoff match. I think like the big thing for High Tech, their biggest weakness is not a subject really, but it's the fact that in high pressure games, I think they might perform below level. Like if you look at their stats and our stats coming into championship matches, they pretty much far outclass us. But they've seemed to choke both times in the last toss-up. So I really think that's like a big key for them is really just keeping their mental game strong. And they're led by Rohan Kodialam, who we affectionately call Robert, or who you can call Treasure Hunter. And he really hunts those powers out. He like gets them, and he's pretty scary when he's on a roll. Like you could be up by like 100, 200, and suddenly he'll catch fire, and next thing you know, they're leading you. So You need to be really careful of him. And he's really good at science and history and geography, and he's going to give them a crazy NAQT boost. And then they also have Aditya Kanan, and he is really good at, I think, humanities, although I'm not really sure. I've seen him buzz in a variety of categories, and he's also a really good generalist alongside Rohan. And then they've also got Julian Gao and Sharon Kumar, who fill niche categories and really like round out this team and make them really strong.
Mohan, would you say that they're better at house rights or NAQT? Because like we played them at beach side, they were extremely scary on the house right side. So
we beat them at GSAC and at on the HCPQ set at UPenn's QAC tournament, and I don't know because we haven't played our full A team versus their full A team on NAQT. The 2 times we played them on NAQT this season, once we didn't have Varun, and the other time they didn't have Rohan. So I don't think it's a fair judgment when your team's best NAQT players are missing in both matches.
Mm.
So I really can't say like how like good I think they're on NAQT, but I know they're really good on house right, and I think they'll scale really well to HSNCT, seeing like Rohan's specialties.
Yeah, they're just a really impressive team overall. I don't necessarily think that they get as much of a significant NAQT boost as some teams like East Brunswick, for example.
Yeah.
But just overall, they're going to do really well, and I think they're going to make it really far in playoffs. They're one of the.
They've got some crazy depth. Like from at Penn Bowl, I remember they put up like a decent amount of powers, especially for a high school team. Like I think they had like 15 or 16 powers. It's like 1 power or 2 powers around on Penn Bowl, which is pretty insane given the difficulty of Penn Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that they'll scale up extremely well. And if I had to name a team from our region, which has potential of going 9-1, I'd say it's High Tech, but more realistically, they're about an 8-2 team. If they have to go 10-0, they have to go through DCC and Lhasa and like Eric Zhu and Maggie Walker, and having played like Maggie Walker earlier this season, just a few weeks back, and having played High Tech A, I can tell you High Tech A is not in the 9-1 or 10-0 class really, unless they get lucky opponents. And that's like one thing that our region is kind of lacking, is like a team that's like definitely top 5 that like wrecks it at everything. You know what I mean? So.
Just as a slight footnote to that statement, I wouldn't directly count Rohan as a top scorer. I think Aditya's actually been pulling a lot of great buzzes too. Like, for example, at Prison Ball in a few games I witnessed, Aditya outscored Rohan by a really wide margin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say they're about equal. I think Rohan sort of gets more fame just because he was on that stellar high-tech A team last year. But they're both really great players.
I think the thing is that Rohan's just known for having this amazing, like, deep knowledge of his subjects. Like, scaling up is not a thing for him because there's no scale that exists for him. He just prowls like a bear hunting in a jungle throughout all these different difficulties, just mauling all of his opponents everywhere.
I agree.
So, that was great.
So, he's just, like, fantastic at moving from difficulty to difficulty. And that's the thing that's really scary about High Tech. But, again, I don't think just Rohan being that transcendent is going to get the job done. But if their other teammates have improved a lot since the last time we played them, then they could definitely, make that jump to, like, a championship caliber team.
All right, so that is our top 25 for HSNCT. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep an eye on it and see how our predictions stack up against reality. I'm thinking some of the lower teams that we said have playoff shots, about 50-60% of those might not actually make it or come near, but it's always fun to put some pressure on all the teams. Yeah, so ahead of us, we also have 3 things that we're going to be introducing, 3 fun new things. We're going to be making some sports analogies, we're going to be discussing our favorite songs, and we're going to end with a 1v1 SmackDown tourney to determine who is the strongest individual fighter in our
Dude, I'm rooting for Kurata right now. He's really strong. Like,
Yeah.
Guys,
He's-
we're not
he's been-
we're not talking about like
Oh.
physical skills SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about like physical fighting.
Yes.
I know Kurata's like really been putting on a few pounds lately, but like not muscle, like just fat. So
Dude,
like
like,
I think
Kurata could just go like full sumo on all of his
yeah,
opponents.
we'll get
Like,
to that later. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But,
This is the part where you stop watching.
yeah, this is where you're gonna hear us rant about things that are pretty fun to rant about. But
All right, so sports analogies.
So my favorite line is Luke Tierney is like Kobe Bryant because he doesn't like to share the ball. What I mean with this is that he's like very, he has a like interesting personality. Like if you go on the forums, like he has very interesting posts. Like you can see for yourself what I mean by this. Like he likes to like ask David Madden if he's the best player ever, which is I think pretty funny.
Don't-
oh.
I think he has a certain charm to him.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sure.
no, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I think Luke Tierney's like Gilbert Arenas because he'll enter anywhere full guns loaded. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
Both because he's a firm proponent of the Second Amendment, and because he's really good at buzzing.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
true. No, that's the second one is what I meant. I wasn't calling him out on his beliefs. Yeah, I mean, I definitely make the comparison between this one's overdone, but High Tech and Michael Jordan's Bulls. You got Michael Jordan, Rohan Kodialam, you got Scottie Pippen, Vidya Kannan, you got Dennis Rodman, right? You got Julian Gao, he's like Dennis Rodman almost, he's like a big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all right there. It's all working in their favor.
Okay.
Someone
Anyone
said
else?
Amzo is like the Grizzlies because they occasionally have a tall white guy on their team.
Oh, that's
yeah, that's
true.
very
Yeah,
true,
that's Tim
yeah.
Morrison. Tim Morrissey, sorry.
Yeah.
And
They're like the same person.
Hunter A is like Floyd Mayweather because none of us do literature.
Oh my
Oh.
god. No, chill.
Yeah, Lexington is like One Direction. Who said that? Was that Shreyas?
That was me.
that
Except
was you?
I said it to you guys.
Oh.
No, or Lhasa. No, I said it was Lhasa because everyone wants to beat them up.
Yeah, no, everyone wants to be.
I'd say that Lexington's like that one band with 4 preteen African American boys. Because
Yeah. This suddenly became music
all love
analogies, by the way.
Huh?
This suddenly became music analogies.
Oh god,
Music
I'm
analogies.
confusing this with our discussion about music analogies.
Yeah.
Cut that part out, Mohan.
Alright. So, alright, I'm gonna cut like this entire little part out. But like, do you guys want to move on to favorite song?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next we're gonna discuss our favorite song of the 2014 to 2015 school year. So we'll start with Albert.
Oh, why me?
Alphabetical.
Okay, you know what?
No, I'm just picking on you.
If I could choose any song from like all time, I would definitely go with Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony. But if I had to choose a contemporary hit, I would have to go with the endlessly catchy Uptown Funk.
Yeah,
That's a
good
true
choice.
pick.
Okay.
That's a
Good
live
song
on
right there.
forever.
Why it was in Prison Bowl? Because I like it.
Yes.
So my Katy Perry hasn't really released any good songs this year, but like I'm a really big fan of Katy Perry, so I'm gonna have to go with Dark Horse. Like even though it has a lot of dislikes on YouTube, I still personally like it. I powered it at HSNCT.
Oh yeah, me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
yes.
Yeah, Rohan negged that
Like,
for us.
oh.
So.
Hey, I got it on the first line. The
Oh, the Cheetos, right?
no.
Like-
I think it was the like a long time ago in Egypt.
Oh, that was second line. That's so lame, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's my favorite song.
All right,
Come on now.
Casey.
Alright, honestly, like, I don't really ever choose favorite songs, but I would say that my favorite song would be anything on the Pink Print by Nicki Minaj, because
Oh.
anything by Nicki Minaj is just probably the best thing that's ever been
True.
rapped, and anything not by Iggy Azalea, basically, like, I don't even care.
Mm.
Yeah,
Casey,
I agree with Casey. Like, for me, it's like Anaconda. Like, that gets me
yeah.
going so hard.
So hard. That's the
And by
best.
that, I mean,
song
like,
ever.
going so hard for Quiz Bowl. Like, not in
Yeah.
any other way. But, like, I'll just, like get like, really hard on that buzzer. And, like, I'll just be,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
doing that little dance while I'm, like, buzzing all the clues. So you know.
Oh, do you actually do the dance?
Yeah, I do. You know.
Oh, that is fantastic.
You know, I pretend like Varun is Drake. And like,
Damn.
yeah.
That's terrifying. I hope we don't play you guys at HSNCT.
Yeah, I don't really want that to happen ever.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have really deep deep music knowledge.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, we might be able to get some of these songs. I think Luke powered an Imagine's Dragon question a while back, so I think we're set for NAQT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, Ray Stremmerd has been emerging.
Oh, I love
as
Ray
just,
Stremmerd. Oh my.
like the best out, like everything. It's just quality hits, and I'm just so
True.
what's going on with that.
Like, I'm so confused by no type, right? Because, like, I ain't got no type, but then it says, like, bad bitches is the only thing that I like,
Then
and
that's a
bad
type.
bitches is
Yeah.
a type, yeah. So, like, what does the no type mean?
And
But don't you get, like,
I don't
the
think he was
implications?
necessarily coherent when he made the song.
Yeah, I know.
It's,
I think that this conversation has degenerated enough for us to move on to the next category.
Oh, okay.
But
True. So yeah, we've got our 1v1 SmackDown, and
Oh, sounds fun.
I've got the bracket right here. So this is gonna be pretty fun. You know, we were just having a conversation like, yo, who would win between like Karads and Varun, and by Karads I mean Karada, because you know Varun's like gotten pretty muscular, and Karada, you know, he's practicing a sumo every day.
okay.
So you know, we were like, all right, let's just put it to the test. Let's make a bracket, and let's see what the guys think. So, in our first match, we've got Varun Wadwa and Devin Shang.
Oh my goodness. This is not
Alright.
good.
It's definitely not going to be good. I feel like Varud's pants are going to have a serious impact on just everything. The whole
Yeah.
fight, you know, it's a distraction, but it's also like blinding. It's amazing.
Yeah, like, if you've gone to a tournament with Varun, like, you know his pants. Like, you know it's Varun when you see a guy, an Indian with green pants. Like, it's just an amazing sight. I don't know what I'll do if I fight him. Like, I may just
Yeah.
give up instantly. And that's without him, like, landing a punch. But if you see how muscular he is, like,
Yeah.
this, like,
You got built
mean,
this year,
yeah,
dude.
I don't
You
know.
got really built.
huh?
That
You got
green
really
is not a
built.
form of mimicry. Like, you know he's poisonous.
Oh my god.
Varun?
He's super strong, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Devin's, I mean, you know, Devin.
But, like, he doesn't do leg day, so if Devin went for the legs, Devin could win, but Devin wouldn't know that beforehand. So
Oh, yeah, true.
my money's on Varun. I think
My money's on Varun.
I think
Yeah.
Varun beats Devin up pretty badly.
Okay, so he moves on to the semifinals.
Yeah, and I actually asked Varun about this. I was like, so I said on Facebook, I said, you versus Shanger Banger, 1v1 fight, who would win? He said, lol, 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 lol. Is that a joke? I said, no. He said, me, easily. Plus, I really want to beat him up, so bring it on.
Oh, okay.
So,
Alright, if this thing
I
gets
think he thinks this is
1,000
actually
likes
happening at HSNCT. I don't tell him.
at HSNCT, 1,000 likes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
If everyone signs a petition for this, we can make this actually happen. You know?
We need a Kickstarter for $5 so we can rent a space at the HSNCT Wendy's or something. Make this happen.
Let's move on to the next matchup.
All right, so for the next match, we have Rohan Kodialam
Oh,
the Bear
Treasure Hunter.
versus Albert Tai. And I've talked to Rohan about this matchup before, so we can hear his thoughts on it afterwards. But you know, they're pretty similar to Varun.
Alright, so like, yeah, knowing that his name is Treasure Hunter, like, he goes for it. He just like goes all right in for it. Like, you don't know, like, he fights really dirty. Like, he does any, like, he may like go for a ball.
He just goes for the sack of jewels,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know.
man.
Like he's just hunting for those rubies. Like you got rubies on you anywhere, he's like gonna steal them in like 5
Yeah.
seconds.
Exactly.
Like he's in and out. But like, all right, let's give Albert a chance to defend himself.
I mean, like, this probably isn't going to go down to a battle of brawn. Like, we're probably not going to actually fight each other. And we're both science players. We both do national science bowls. So we're probably just going to mix, like, chemistry solutions to throw at each other.
Oh.
But
True.
he is going to MIT, so I think that might be a testament to how more potent his solutions can be.
Yeah.
Ooh.
True.
Yeah, I think he's going to melt me down.
Yeah, I vote Rohan into the
I think we're
semifinals.
going to
Damn.
go with Rohan.
Same.
So all right, yeah. And I asked Rohan, and he just said me, easy. So you know, he's pretty confident right there.
Okay, do me a favor. Rohan still hasn't accepted my friend request on Facebook, so like that's pretty savage.
So, Rohan, if you listen to this, you gotta accept Devin Shang's friend request.
Yeah,
Like, if
thank
you
you.
accept Devin Shang's friend request, we'll make Varun versus Devin Shang happen. So
Rohan, I really liked your profile picture with the hippo with the 9 medals. That was really cute.
Rohan is
but
fine.
of course we know he's not going to listen this late, and if he does listen, but
He's
if
a
he
fish.
is, if he
Like
is,
this post if you liked my reference.
Okay.
all right. So moving on to the next match, we got me, you know, the lovable me, Mohan versus Luke Tierney.
Oh
Oh.
But
my.
if he's bringing his guns to the fight, that's
Oh,
really
yeah,
not fair at all
definitely.
for me.
Tierney, yeah.
He's like a mechnomancer or whatever. He can like build guns out of spare parts whenever he wants to.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
true.
I mean, as they say, suns out, guns out, right? Like that's the only way you can fight.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's
think
his
in
guns against your guns. Like, which ones will win?
a similar vein to Ned Flanders, he's also like really ripped underneath that turtleneck. So
Oh damn! I never realized.
Oh, damn.
Oh no, I'm gonna get beat easily then.
I'm gonna have to take Luke Tierney on this one.
Yeah.
I go for Luke Tierney.
All right, and then yeah, our last one is gonna be Karads
Oh, crap.
Karada versus Casey Weatherby. I think this is our closest match out of all of them. You know, Karada's been practicing that sumo, and you know he can pull out some pretty good moves, like sitting on you.
Yeah, I've never
suffocating
actually
you.
I've never met him. Like, I don't actually know him. I don't even know what he looks like, but you call him Tubby, so I'm gonna assume things about that from that simple thing. Like, I think there's a post by Devin Shang in the Forbidden Zone, in the forums about shots fired, something about that. Tubby Karada.
Yeah,
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, Varun has had Forbidden Zone as well for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's not this. You shouldn't like underestimate Karada. Like he's been putting on a lot of weight recently, just from like eating a lot of things. So like you can just like probably sit on you and you can probably suffocate.
I don't know about that. I like
Like, really
running,
I think we've gotten this message already.
Okay.
but like,
Abhinav, if you're watching this, I think you're fit.
that's sweet. But like, honestly, I have a pull-up bar on my door.
Oh.
And
Oh
so
my.
yeah, and I don't skip leg day. So
Oh damn! All right, you got that lower body strength.
This one's tight. I'm gonna go with Karada though.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
would
go for
I
Karads.
would vote for
Region
myself.
bias. Jessica's region bias. I'm going with Karada.
Oh, wow, region bias. Okay.
Because
I
I've
go Karada just
played
because
more.
I've seen that belly in action. That's some real damage, dude.
Dude, Al, this is up to you.
All right, so who's moving on? Wait, who did Albert and Casey vote on?
I'm voting for myself.
I feel bad because you guys are ragging on Karada, so I'm gonna have to go with him.
Okay.
Just
3 to
let
1.
him through. So does that mean
Promise.
that he's fighting Luke Tierney? I can't wait.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Albino Pirates is Luke Tierney. That's pretty interesting. You guys want to do that one?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's move to the semifinals. So we've got Abhinav Karada versus Luke Tierney.
Hot damn. This is a really
This is a
tight.
close one, dude.
Yeah, because like, have you seen Luke Tierney? I mean, the kid can really pull something out. Like, I don't know, like maybe a gun.
Yeah.
But
But by that, do you mean like a handgun?
I
I
don't
mean, like, he's
know.
got his rifle,
I
dude.
mean, like a full
have you
hunting
seen
rifle.
him?
Dude, if he like doesn't have his rifle, he can also pull out his fencing epee or whatever that's
Oh
called.
yeah, true.
I mean, Karada does seem like a pretty stuffily dressed guy from his profile picture, and so is
Yeah.
Luke Tierney, because he does exclusively wear suits to his Quizle matches.
Yeah.
This would end up
True.
more like a legal battle rather than a
True.
like one of them's gonna like scrap the other, and then they're gonna take it to court. So like, what do you think's gonna happen there?
No, I think
Well,
Karada
Karada-
wins. Like Karada jumps on Tierney before Tierney realizes what's happening. Like,
Like
Luke,
in the courthouse?
Luke has,
or-
like he doesn't like know what's going on sometimes. Like Karada will just like take advantage of like that naivety and just like
Oh
jump
my
on him and like suffocate him.
Have you guys heard of Karada's prestigious company, Land Me?
Oh,
It's like-
yes,
The
I have.
venture that he proposed, yeah. I think that will like can propel him to the finals. Like just because based on his supporter base.
Do you think he educates people in the art of karate as well?
Karada?
Yeah. Doesn't he like do some tutoring service or something?
Land Me?
Landme's all about karate, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. And like karate and karate are like the same thing. I'm pretty sure he's a master.
Yeah, so I
Black
think I'm gonna take Karada for this one.
belt.
I guess so. I guess Luke's just too well bred for the streets.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
All right. So who are we going with, guys?
Karate.
Karada. All right. Unanimous. All right,
Unanimous.
nice. So let's move to our other fight, which is between Varun and Rohan the Bear.
Robert.
I think this is a runaway, especially because one is just so aggressive and so passionate when it comes to just mauling his opponents. But what do you guys think?
Well, they call Varun Scooter Q. I'm not sure what does Scooter Q mean?
I think it's Scooter Quavo.
Oh, what is that?
What does that mean?
I think it's better if you ask him himself in person.
Oh, okay.
I don't even qualified. I'm not qualified in hood talk to explain it. But
Is
Okay.
it because he's extremely mobile?
sure. Let's go with that. Yeah, the guy who couldn't finish the cross country course is very good.
Okay.
Oh damn.
I mean, in terms of not in terms of stamina, more like agility.
No, I mean, yeah, when we play Manhunt during Quiz Bowl practices, he's pretty hard to catch. He's like a sneaky little guy. Like, he's like, you can never find him.
Oh yeah, that's a good point because of Rohan's treasure hunter and Varun's sneaky. Like he might not be able to hunt the treasure if like.
Yeah, it's like
That's
the
a good
perfect
counter
matchup
attack.
right there.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
Varun's pants are pretty bright. Like I feel
No,
like
that's
give them
true,
away.
yeah.
And
The answer just attracted them to him.
yeah, like Rohan would probably. I think Rohan would get him. Would pick,
You think
pick
Rohan,
them.
Rohan can find the treasure at the end?
I think he would find the treasure in the end. In the end, it doesn't
Okay.
even matter. But
Yeah, I think Rohan finds
Yeah, I
him.
think Rohan will win this one. Okay.
And like
Okay.
I went out and polled the two again, and Varun agreed with us. He said, yeah, Rohan would destroy him. He said he can't hide from him.
Oh.
And Cody Alam, Rohan was just like, yeah, easy, it's me.
Okay.
So, he's showing that confidence. He knows it. Like he knows he's gonna win this thing.
Well, we've got two Titans in the finals now, Karada and Cody Allam.
oh damn.
Really tight.
Yeah.
So
This is a
what do we
close
think
one.
about this, guys? I'm thinking Robert. I'm thinking he's really gonna pull it out, especially
They're
because
both pretty big guys. Yeah.
they're pretty big guys. But I think Robert, like, just finding the treasure is key to his success.
Yeah,
in my
true.
opinion.
I mean, he's just going for that booty, right? So.
The thing is, like,
Yeah.
Karada is not treasure, so like, there's no need to find him. Like, he's not a ruby or anything. Like, it's not desirable for Robert.
Yeah.
He prefers direct confrontation.
I think Robert goes the path of physical, brutal altercation, but
Oh yeah.
that's just me. I'm just expressing.
But
How
I think it depends on like the reward. Like, is Korad's worth it? Is he worth the treasure? Is this
Yeah.
treasure worth it? Like, it's a question that we need to ask when we consider this final. And like, what is Korad's gonna do to combat the Robert?
Yeah, so true. Those are some very accurate questions right there.
Mhm.
I mean, I think Korad's just sits down and Robert can't move him, but Korad's he could like bundle up or whatever and like just wait it out, play the long game, play it strategy wise.
Yeah, that might be true. I don't know. I'm really torn with this one.
Do you know what? Why don't we leave this one up to the viewers?
That
Yeah,
is
that's
a
true.
brilliant idea.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
don't you guys comment?
Let's poll on Facebook. I don't know.
This
Yeah,
is-
everyone can like argue it out in the
Comment
comment
section.
section. Yeah, and we'll hear out your arguments. So why do you think Rohan or Abhinav Kurata would win? And who in the end will get the grand prize? The beautiful ruby that awaits them. So
I'd say that we could mention the result in the next episode of the Gossip Bowl cast, but I don't think there's going to be a next episode.
now I think before Pace, we'll get
Yeah.
we'll get another episode in.
Mm.
Pace, and then we're gonna analyze the teams for next season, or postseason review. So I think we'll definitely have time to discuss some more Kurata and Robert showdowns.
Okay. Cool.
And also, everyone, just remember, if you can get Rohan and Cody Allam to accept Devin Shang's friend request, Devin Shang fights Varun Wadhwa Friday night, prime time. They're going to go at it like Pacquiao and Mayweather, but a
Okay,
little
so
less.
I would
Appreciate
appreciate.
hugging, a little more punchy.
Weekend Grand Ballroom.
I would appreciate hashtag pray for Devins in the comments. That'd be really appreciated. I just need those prayers for Rohan to accept my friend request. It's been outgoing for 2 months. Like, it's just been really ongoing torment day and night. So I'd really appreciate that.
That's really
Yeah, I
rough.
think Devin's a little depressed now, but,
Thank
he
you.
does him. Yep.
It's that will be all, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yep. Thanks everyone for
Bye.
tuning in.
Thanks for the 2 people who made it to here.
Yes. If you made it here, you are the real MVP. And we should thank you for that. And to show my gratitude, Devin, Shang, and I will take you out to lunch at HSNCT.
Oh, okay.
Unless there's more than 2 of you, in which case I definitely don't have the money for that. But
No. They're paying. They're paying.
Oh no, I meant like I'd take them out, like me and Devin and I. Like,
Oh, yeah?
you know, yeah, we're kind of a thing now, but just like the 2 of us.
I don't know. You just blocked me on Facebook too.
Oh, that's true. That's because you weren't admitting to the fact that you know. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Bastard.
It's more gossipful.
Yeah, so we'll discuss more of this gossip next time on Gossipful. Thank you everyone for checking in and listening to us, and if you stayed with us the entire way, then you are awesome. And you can, show that off to your friends that you were called awesome by me, which is like the highest achievement ever.
Bye.
We love you.